Let us see one more game with the same plans and ideas against Egyptian player Taher. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight f6, d3, d6, bishop b3, a6, h3, castle. Again, not an accurate move. Then bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, bishop a6, knight b d2. Here again in this position it was better for black to take on b3, but he played bishop a7, knight h2, g5, bishop g3, king g7. So in this game I have chosen another way of the attack after the pawn structure has been weakened. So I exchange on e6 myself. Usually I do not do it often, but in this position after f6 I can play h4, and after exchanges on g5 at some point I will have the possibility to play knight g4, and my knight on g4 will be very strong. So that was my plan after taking on e6. Rook h8, knight d3, king g6, g4 here was not so good because the knight will go away, and after h5, f3, and exchange on the 3, my knight from f3 can go to g5 maybe, and also with advantage for white. King g6. So black is defending originally, so the king, which is normally weak, is taking an active role in the defense of the pawn g5. Queen e2, knight h5. Now I take on g5, and after h5 I castle to the queen side. So again, as previously, combination of different plans in the same game. Queen e7, knight g4, rook a f8. So white has achieved almost everything in this position, but still there is nothing decisive, nothing concrete. So in order to win, white must open the second front of the attack here. And the best way to do so is to play d3, d4. So I didn't want to play it immediately, so I've started to prepare this move, playing queen d2 first. So knight d8 was played with the idea c5, in order to make me playing d4 difficult. So now the correct moment came to play d4, and this is what I did. d4, e4, cd4, knight f7, and now further opening the position e5. Then there are ideas with checks queen c2, queen d3, the king on g6 has again became exposed. King g7, bishop h2. If black will exchanges on g3 at some point, then after f g3 the square f6 will be very weak. But difficult to say what is the best way for black to defend his position. Remains difficult in all the lines. King g7, bishop h2. Now I don't want to exchange my bishop anymore, and my plan is to put the pressure on the pawn c7, d6, to use the bishop h2. For this reason I'm playing king b1 in order to play rook c1 and attack the pawn c7. So then I will have the tactical possibility to play knight f6. c5, and then the line is open, my rook is going to c1, and that happens in chess. When the weak the side that is standing worse has to defend on both sides of the board, then he has not enough resources to move pieces from one part of the board to another. So it means that attacking side is getting the decisive advantage. So now rook c8, my knight is going to d4, bishop b6, and now I play knight e3 with a small trick to win the queen, queen d7, but nevertheless it doesn't stop, and it allows me to finish the game in a very beautiful manner with a sacrifice. Knight ef5. Of course, accurate calculations were necessary to be sure that white wins in all the lines. ef5, e6, queen a4, and now a very important move, bishop e5. So the bishop that was saved by us from the exchange previously is now coming into play. King g6, ef7, bishop d4, and now bishop h8. So the position of black is collapsing, especially after very important move b3. So the bishop d4 is lost. Queen d7, queen d4, rook f8, and now queen b6, and black resigned. Also nice attacking game from my side.